go east now to Wabanaki territory, where ancient traditions are growing strong again. And nowhere is that more visible than at the Passamaquoddy Days celebration on the Passamaquoddy Reservation. For nearly 6 decades, the people of the Dawn have used the growing event as an annual touchstone for their culture and lifeways. ICT's Stuart Huntington visited last week and has this report.
Tribal citizens and non-tribal citizens gathered along the Passamaquoddy Nation shore for drums, dances, and smiles. But the day also had deep meaning.
It's very significant to our people because we're handing down songs, stories, and ceremonies, and we're passing it on from one generation to the other.
That was Dwayne Toma, who, as director of the Passamaquoddy Tribal Museum in Zibayak, is dedicated to preserving, nourishing, and rejuvenating his nation's culture.
It's real important for us to gather, to come together, and to be able to unite our people and all people. So we invite everyone to come to celebrate with us, to share some of the songs, the stories. So it's really an opportunity for us to build relationships with one another.
And also, says Alberta Newell, to reconnect.
It's to heal and to commune with the ancestors and pray for goodness for our families and our friends and our community. It gives us time to family, friends, people we haven't seen all year that come together, especially COVID, that can come together and we can just reconnect and meet all the new babies and meet all the new spouses, or even grieve for those who have passed on. So to me, it's all about family. The whole Passamaquoddy Days is about family. And being with friends and having good thoughts and eating and dancing and singing and drumming and just being with everybody. That's what I find important.
The celebration has grown over the years and now kicks off with an overnight ancestors paddle canoe journey from the nation's northern territory at Indian Township down to its seaside lands in Zibayak. It's a special time, says Passamaquoddy Chief Renee Newell.
It's a spiritual journey, certainly. I think we have to be mindful of the history and the significance of that paddle, and we have connections to our ancestors, and this particular paddle brought blessings along the way in being able to see 14 eagles join us along the route.
The paddle is also a way to reconnect with and revitalize ancient and sturdy traditions, says organizer Kyle Lolar.
It's just part of who I am and what my culture is. As a Penobscot tribal citizen, I'm on the water ever since I was a little kid. Birch bark canoes, warrior canoes, kayaks, you name it. We're always on the river, and that's just part of who we are. Before colonization, this was our highways. The waterways were our highways. Anywhere you went, there was a birch bark canoe ready to go. And you had language keepers, you had knowledge keepers keeping us alive and running from point to point on the rivers, on the lakes, on the oceans. So that's why it's so important that we get these going again, so that the nations are then communicating with each other again, getting to know each other, getting the elders to share knowledge that has been sleeping for a while. And myself and others, it's our responsibility to bring that back out and do the work.
And restore the reach of the people of the Dawnland.
Actually, that's Canada right there, and this bay is named the Passamaquoddy Bay. So we have a deep relationship and a connection to the ocean. So the water is very sacred to our people. According to us, it's been handed down since time immemorial that, that is Passamaquoddy territory. So that political border, and that's exactly what it is, it's a political border. So we don't recognize that political border. We have to deal with it all the time. It's just an ongoing process to be able to, work with these officials regarding the border.
This is our 57th year of hosting Passamaquoddy Days, which has really turned into a weekend event. And for me, it's about welcoming people here to Sabayak and seeing our family, you know, come home to visit and welcoming new people to the community to learn about our culture, you know, to share in our traditions.
In Sabayak, Maine, in Passamaquoddy territory, Stuart Huntington, ICT News.
Onondaga citizen and painter Frank Buffalo Hyde had an incredible year. Not only does he have a new exhibition in the town he grew up in, Frank just finished a reality TV show called The Exhibit. He joins us now virtually with more on his reality challenge and his newest showings of art. Welcome back, Frank.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's great to be back.
So the MTV series that you were on, The Exhibit, tell us about what made you want to be in the show.
Well, you know, one of the very unique aspects of that show was that the participants were curated. And by that, I mean they were selected over, you know, the curators got together and surveyed artists from all over the world, all over the country, and took a look at their portfolios, and by the strength of their work, contacted each artist, and sort of that's how the ball got started rolling.
For our viewers who are hearing about this show for the first time, at a high level, tell us what some of the goals are.
Well, I think the exhibit was a partnership with MTV and the Smithsonian Channel, and their sort of goal was to focus more on the process of each artist, and so you got to spend more time with each artist, with each commission, rather than having like a frenetic elimination. So what's also unique about the show is that all of the people participating, the artists that were on the show, were in every episode, except for like half of the last one.
I could imagine that competing against so many artists could be really difficult. What was the most challenging part of it for you?
Honestly, for me, the hardest part was being away from my family for that amount of time to shoot. But also it took the studio a while to get a handle on the temperature inside of the studio where we were working. So for like the first couple of days, it was like super hot. So I don't know if you've seen the show or you watch the show, you'll see a few episodes where everybody's kind of svitsy.
So I know that you didn't make it all the way to the end, but can you talk about what you learned from your time on this reality series?
You know, for me, the experience before we started and why I agreed to it is because representation is very important. Some people will argue with me on that, but you know, having people out in Indian country be able to take a look at the TV and see someone that looks like them is important. I mean, it just takes that one little spark to get somebody, you know, to identify with a career or to know that they can, you know, pursue something as a career that maybe not was available to them. So representation was definitely the most important thing for me. And then also it was an opportunity to post-pandemic to say yes to more things in life. You know, I don't think we've really dealt with all the trauma that we felt during the pandemic. So it was important for me to get out there and start experiencing and saying yes to some opportunities I might not have done beforehand.